Hi, I'm Kayla, and I will be telling you how to take care of your bearded dragon. Here's some tips. Section 1. What to look for in your dragon. If your dragon is laying down a lot in a corner or is keeping his eyes closed, then you might want to contact your vet. He or she also might be cold, so bring them to the heat lamp. Suggested by the vet to me was to feed him baby bird food. This powder that you wet, then feed them if they aren't eating and are weak. Section 2. Surroundings. Section 2. Surroundings. Keeping your dragon's cage clean is extremely important. Some furniture you can use is climbing stuff like trees or sticks. Cleaning is really important and easy. Just move your dragon. Just move your dragon to a temporary place while you take everything out and scrub the carpet. You could get like a sponge and scrub it. Clean the windows. You see there's like stuff on the windows. You could clean that off if you're a clean freak, like I usually am, but lazy I guess. Clean dish. It gets stuff in there, so you want to dump it out and then clean it just like with paper towel or something like that. Just make sure you get all that out. It's very important to clean his poop up. If he or she is pooping every day, that's healthy for a juvenile. Adults about once a week sometimes. Usually it's once a week. If they poop more often, that's okay. Section 3. Healthcare / crickets. First, if you can't handle crickets well, then a lizard is not right for you. Crickets must have big enough container to breathe in, with holes. You see, this is the container I use. It's just like a cage. It's smaller and it has holes, and I think it's easier. But if you have small crickets, you could use a cage like this. Also easy, but I'm using bigger crickets, so what you do is you feed the crickets lettuce. You put lettuce about once or twice a day, depending on how many you have. You can put dark shade boxes so they can crawl in and have a good life, or tubes so you can enter them in the cage correctly. You want to use calcium so your lizard won't break bones. So just put calcium on crickets. Don't use sand when they are young, because the crickets can roll around in the sand and the sand will clog the lizard's stomach up and kill them. This is the brand of calcium I use. Reptile calcium. Yeah, it's a pretty good brand. It has vitamin D, and it's just really white powder, so nothing big. You just put that on them, and that'll work. The red light is for the red light that your lizard will use. This light, that is for nighttime only, to keep them warm. This white light is for day only. that gives him, vitamins. Make sure he has plenty of water so that he stays hydrated. You can bathe him in the sink to keep him, clean, and lizards usually like to be bathed in that, and so you could put him in his bath, or you could put him in a sink, a little low, warm water, no soap necessary. If you use soap, don't use soap, just suggested. You could also hand feed them water by wetting their lips with water. You could use something like this. You could, Kobe doesn't, this is my lizard Kobe, he's not a fan of getting, injured and do that, so I don't really do it that often. I usually bathe it, but whatever works for you, depending on how your lizard handles everything. But what you could do is you could put it on him like that, around his lips, and sometimes he'll stick his tongue out and get water in there. Section 4. Handling. You are more than welcome to hold your lizard. If he or she is a juvenile, then you want to limit it to 2 times a day of handling, because too much can get them sick. Adults hold more, so you could hold the adults more so they can get used to you. You should wash your hands after handling them. How you should hold them is you could put them on your chest. That's how I carry my lizard, but everyone's different. You could put him on the chest like this and just keep him supported, nice, like that. Or what else you could do is you could hold him like this. You could put one hand over him and make sure 2 hands so he doesn't wiggle around, and so he could lose his tail that way. So you want to keep a nice grip on him too. Keeping him or her from harm's way. Section 5. Feeding him calcium with crickets keeps calm. Make sure he is pooping once a week, if adult at least, or once a day for juvenile. If he isn't pooping regular, try feeding him fruits and vegetables more. Food? First, if yours is a baby, 3 or 4 crickets a day. Adults, 5 to 10. 3 or 4 small crickets, and 5 to 10 medium or large. 5 to 10, whatever. He eats about 7. My lizard, Kobe, this is him, he eats about 7, but, everyone's different. It's very important to feed them lettuce, strawberries, raspberries, etc. Also, I recommend these pebbles. Zilla, this is a good brand. It's especially made for bearded dragons, and on the back, it has directions, and really what they are, they're just like little dots inside, and you put that, and you want to wet those so that it's nice and soft, so that when they eat it, they don't really have, they have teeth, but they're not much teeth, so that'll be a lot easier to use. I recommend not taking the chances and feeding him mealworms. Feeding him mealworms could really hurt him, and it could crawl through his stomach. You could feed him mealworms, just not like when he's a baby. It's best. Also, baby food. Already mentioned that, but you know, baby foods, it helps. They can't eat, that works. Last but not least, breeding. Section 7. If you want to have babies, make sure you have a male and a female. Place the male in the female's cage, not male. Male might attack because she's in his territory. This might take a few days for them to mate. The male will puff out his beard and then mate. Depending on how big the female is, you need to know. The bigger she is, the more babies. She could have as least as 8 to 22 babies. They do hatch out of eggs. How to figure out if your dragon is a boy or a girl? You won't know this until he or she is bigger. You lift. Here, I'll do a demonstration. I just figured out what my buddy was. He was a boy. I figured that out just not too long ago. So, you figured it out by laying him down. And you want to lay him down and lift up his tail, and you notice there's he's not cooperating right now, I'm sorry. You lift it up and there's like pores under there. There's little dots, there's about 7, and those are where the stuff comes out of a boy. The pores, so the more pores there are, that's how you know it's a boy. There are little dots along right here. You lift the tail, and you might want to get a specialist to check this out because they're the best at it. I had to get that because, you know, you're not quite sure, but girls will have this too, but boys have more, and they're more thicker and more visible. That's how you know it's a boy. Thank you for watching, and I hope these tips were useful. If you need help on how to take care of your bearded dragons, please just comment below any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. I hope this was helpful. Thanks.